Hey there, Graham Myers here from Second Story Theater. So here to talk to you a little bit about 2013 in Port Coquitlam. I've got with us here Mayor Greg Moore to talk a little bit about the city events that are going to be happening throughout the entire year. Hey Greg, how are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the events that the city has planned throughout the year. Can you just tell us a little bit about what we got going on?
So we got a whole year-long celebration. It's not just March 7th, that's our actual inauguration day birthday, which we got big gala going on that day, but the whole year we have planned. So we have art exhibits. So coming up in February, we have the Illumination Art Project, where at the PoCo Rec Center, we're going to take the big glass wall and we're going to illuminate the history of Port Coquitlam and tell the whole story. So whether you're inside or you're outside, you get to see the history of Port Coquitlam. And then we're going to take some of those same images and we're going to put them on banners around the community, 100 banners of 100 faces of people that have really shaped Port Coquitlam to what it is today. And then in March, during our birthday, actual March 7th, we're going to have the grand opening of Heritage at Lee Square, which is going to be our new museum. We've never had one before, so that's going to be a first for us. That evening, we've got free skates and free swims going on. And here at City Hall, we're going to have a big grand birthday, a big gala party here at City Hall. And then throughout the year, we've got lots of stuff planned. We've got a homecoming celebration in August, where we're going to have a whole weekend long full of events in downtown PoCo. And we hope that people that have lived here in the past, or obviously that live here now, will come out and just have a great time. We're going to have a big stage, big name bands coming out. It's going to be fabulous. And then throughout the whole year, we just got more stuff going on.
It's very interesting because Port Moody is also having their centennial this year. And I've heard there's a little bit of a competition between you and some of the other mayors. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the Port Moody Arts Council is putting on a wearable art competition or project. And they've made it into a competition. It's hats this year. And so the three mayors, Mayor Clay, Mayor Stewart, and myself, are competing on who can create the best wearable art hat. And I can tell you, I can't give you all my secrets because you got to come to the event on February 16th. But my hat is being made by Riverside secondary students in the art class. And they are going to depict the history of Port Coquitlam on my hat.
The entire history of Port Coquitlam on your hat.
The whole thing.
That's incredible. How big is this hat? Can you tell us that?
I won't be able to fit in this building.
For real?
I'll be walking very touchy.
Well, I don't know about you, but that sounds very interesting to me, and I'm definitely going to check that out. And the date was, sorry, what was it again?
So February 16th is the art program. I should mention also on February 16th, the Heritage Society is doing a taste of a wine event here at the outlet as well. So get tickets for that and come out and mingle with your community while tasting some wine from around the region.
Is there any way you could tell me a little bit more? Like, what do you know about Port Coquitlam?
Well, you know, Port Coquitlam does have a rich history, and back in the 1800s, this was all the Coquitlam district. So Port Moody, Coquitlam, and Port Coquitlam. Rail came out, and that was really the industrial boom around here. And we knew that they were going to create a transfer. So the rail in Port Coquitlam, it's called the Westminster Junction where we first started. So it went straight through Port Moody and on to Burrard Inlet, but it also turned to go to New Westminster. So that was the vision that our forefathers had. So the mayor of Coquitlam, Mayor Mars, decided with people around here that this was going to be the hub. They called this the Pittsburgh of the United States. This Port Coquitlam was going to be the Pittsburgh of Canada. That's the vision that they had. So in 1913, they applied. They became their own municipality here. And this was really where they all started. They had huge visions. They built this city hall. It was the biggest building in the community. But it took decades before they realized their vision of people moving here, and there was a lot of speculation, but it just didn't happen. And there was floods, there was fires, there was the Great Depression. So it really took until the 50s until we sort of went from about 1,500 people up to about 8,000 people. And then every decade since then we've grown more and more. And so now we're 56,000 people. That vision, I think, that our forefathers and Mayor Mars had back in 1913 has finally come to fruition. And we do. We're a big industrial community now because of the largest rail yard in Western Canada is here in Port Coquitlam. We've got the logistics for our industrial park, and we've got a great residential community that's nice and compact. And I think that's, if they could come back and look at what they created, I think they'd be really pleased.
Yeah, it's almost as if they were looking into the future and realizing what was going to happen years and years and years down the road. That's really, really great. Yeah, is there any other thing? Is there any like fun fact that you know about Port Coquitlam that maybe not everybody who lives in this area knows? Just some kind of like a tidbit that maybe is like a secret mayor tidbit that only you know about. Is there anything like that?
Sure, and in the early years of Port Coquitlam, downtown Port Coquitlam used to be on Kingsway. So right where the bend is on Kingsway. And the original City Hall was the Coquitlam City Hall, but because it was in the Port Coquitlam boundaries, it was called Kelly Hall. And then we built this building, and so that became the fire hall. And the fire chief, who was the police chief and everything else at that time, lived there. He started a fire, not on purpose, in his own unit, in his own building, burnt downtown PoCo down. And
The fire chief. The fire chief.
the fire chief burnt down downtown PoCo, and then they rebuilt it, but they rebuilt it around City Hall here, just a few blocks from where it was. And so that isn't a mayor's fact. If you just read our history book, you'll actually see that as one of the first stories. But a pretty funny story about one of the big setbacks they had from this grand vision was that the downtown got burnt down.
Oh, that's really funny. And of course, the man to do it is the fire chief. Why not burn down your own city? I understand that you actually had a hand in creating the title for the book for the city of Port Coquitlam. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. I was a city staffer here at the time working with the author, and I threw out the idea where rails meet rivers, and that became the name of our history book. And not only this year would it be great for our community to buy the history book that they can buy here at City Hall or any of our rec facilities, but we also got a whole bunch of gear that we've done. So we've got hats and shirts and umbrellas and a whole bunch of stuff. You can buy it here at City Hall, or you can go on our website to check it all out, and then come down to City Hall and get it, so you're showing your community spirit.
Great. Yeah, that's great. So come and get some swag here at City Hall, because they've got all kinds of neat stuff, including the hat. They've got a wonderful umbrella, too. It's like a mini umbrella. You could pretty much keep it in your pocket. So come on out and check out what they've got. This is Graham Myers here from Second Story Theater and Tri-City Community Television here with the mayor. I just want to say thank you one more time, and really appreciate you giving us the time to talk to you.
Thanks for your time.
Last-minute preparations are still underway at the Port Coquitlam Rec Center for the Illuminating Port Coquitlam Digital Art Exhibit, which opens February 13th. Tri-Cities Community Television recently caught up with the project's digital artist, Stuart Ward.
Painting or static art is really not exciting for younger people. So we decided to make an interactive piece where the people of the community would be a part of the project, and their movements in front of the projection system actually change what you see on the screen. I worked with a photographer who got a collection of heritage pictures from the city, and he went around for a month and a half taking pictures of those heritage places as to how they look now, so that we can look at the passage of time between maybe 100 years ago or 50 years ago to a more contemporary image of the same place. In addition to that, I went through a collection of images of submissions from the community of various art forms that people submitted to be a part of the project. I don't believe that myself as an individual, as an artist, should have as much say as what the community should be able to say, that this is really a community-based art project. I'm just facilitating it and making sure that it comes together and is interesting for the community to look at. I'd like to say thank you to the entire community that helped make this possible. All of the photo submissions, the art submissions, Riverside High School and Citadel Middle School, and the instructors there that were very helpful. And of course the Lee Square Community Arts team that helped make this possible. So thank you very much.
Standing with me is Debbie Rousey from the city of Port Coquitlam, here to tell me about a wonderful event that's happening in April. Please tell me all about it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Our event is the Volunteer Recognition Awards, and it is our event that we honor our local volunteers from our community who help make our city a great place to work, live, and play. And this year, our theme for our volunteer is Legends of Our Community, and we want that to tie in with our whole centennial celebration, so that when you're thinking about someone in your community who's really helped out and who's been really involved, what kind of legend are they? Do they strike you as a Superman hero or something along that line? So our deadline for your nomination of your legend is March 17th.
March 17th, everyone. So when you're thinking, hey, I should nominate Graham for that, March 17th is when that would be. And then when is the actual event? The
actual event will be on April 23rd, and the gala evening that we host at our Port Coquitlam Rec Center. And we hope to celebrate their great involvement in our community and all the success that they've done and brought to our city.
Great. So if you know a legend that's here in the community, please nominate them and help celebrate the 100-year centennial.